Is the Mavic Air 2 a good rescue drone for your quadcopters? We're going to find out today. Stay tuned. Taking a look here at the Mantis claw, it must be assembled. It comes with detailed instructions. I'm going to show you how to put it together real quick in this video. You're going to take all your pieces, lay them out in separate piles. Take your plate here, take one of your small pieces. You're going to insert that so the small end is in towards the top, just like so, and then you'll fit the top piece on. So you're going to put all your pieces on one side, go ahead and get the top piece, line it up, and snap into place. It should look like this. Next, you're going to go ahead and grab your loophole bolt. Go ahead and take the nut off of that. Push it through the top so that the longer pieces with the holes are down bottom. Go ahead and tighten up the nut by hand, and then go ahead and take your 11mm driver and finish tightening up snug. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab the arms with the holes in them, and you'll see one end looks like a beak. This is the end that's going to pivot up top, and the other rounded side will go down towards the claw in this orientation. So you'll see when you put the claw, you will put the arm in between two of the claws, push the bolt through all three pieces so it looks something like this. Then take your nut and hand tight, and you'll see the orientation of the claw will look just like this. Next, grab the other piece with no hole in it, and that's going to go down bottom. Push the screw through, tighten up the nut by hand. You see it's both arms are in between both claw plates. And as you can see, this is the way it should look, and it should move about freely even when you snug tight. So just snug everything up by hand, then slowly snug it up tighter with your tools, making sure it still moves freely. It's very important that the claw can move freely, because this is how it's going to easily be able to grab when dropped down onto an object. For example, here's a 5-inch quadcopter. You can see even with the claw spinning, because everything is moving freely on all of the claws and arms, once we lower down onto the quadcopter, the claw will open up easily and allow it to grab hold of the object and latch on. As you can see, it latches on securely, and it will not move of the claw once it's been grappled. Let's go ahead and hook this up to the DJI Mavic Air 2 and see what we can do with it. Alright guys, we're outside, got the Mavic Air 2 here with this super scientific, extra strong paracord hanging down here from a zip tie. This is just a quick little setup, guys, with some materials that you may have laying around your house or in your bag. Just some paracord, a zip tie, and then of course we have the claw here on the other end, and we just have it tied up in a knot. So basically we're going to take this Mavic Air 2, we're going to safely lift off with the claw hanging down, and then we're going to try to retrieve the drone. We're going to do both a 3-inch drone and a 5-inch just to see if this thing can actually lift a 5-inch, which I highly doubt, but we're going to give it a try anyway. And the first thing we're going to want to make sure we do is we're going to make sure we turn off all the obstacle avoidance on the Mavic Air 2, since we don't want any interference from the paracord hanging down underneath in the zip tie messing with those sensors. So we're going to go ahead and disable the obstacle avoidance. We're going to go ahead and get the Mavic Air 2 in the air with the claw, and we're going to see if we can't do some drone retrieval with the Mavic Air 2. Just to double check, and we have the obstacle avoidance turned off. So you can see it's not on brake, it's on off. That way we have no obstacle avoidance whatsoever. So it picked up the 3-inch, not really much problem. I was actually kind of expecting it to struggle a little bit more. You can hear that the motors have increased a little bit, but no problems picking it up or flying around with it. Very impressed. Now, the next question is, will the Mavic Air 2 pick up a 5-inch quadcopter? I don't think so, but we're going to try it. This is a 3-inch with a 3S 850 milliamp lipo pack. So as you can see from the video, guys, it's really struggling to pick up the 5-inch empty. When I say empty, I mean no camera, no battery. So at this point, there's no sense in me, you know, putting a battery on there and trying to lift it and put the camera on there. It will barely lift the 5-inch empty. So is the Mavic Air 2 a good rescue quadcopter? Not for 5-inch quadcopters, it's not. But you know, your 3 inches, maybe even some lightweight 4 inches, the Mavic Air 2 will definitely pick those quads up, no problem with the claw. The only other thing I could do to try and make sure that this could pick up a 5-inch quadcopter empty, you know, and actually be able to bring it back, is somehow try to lighten the actual hook eye that's in the claw itself, to try to lighten up the load a little bit. But honestly, I still think it's not going to be a substantial enough weight loss, weight reduction to be able to lift that quadcopter and bring it back safely without damaging the Mavic Air 2. So there you have it. Glad you guys could test, you know, see the Mavic Air 2 and what it's capable of as far as lifting additional quadcopters for rescue. The claw works really well. I would say if you have an Inspire leg drone, if you have a bigger size drone, maybe even like a Phantom, man, that's going to be very valuable to have that claw in your bag with you when you go out and fly, for sure. All right, guys. In conclusion, this is a really cool setup, I gotta say. You know, the paracord is something you can easily just have in your bag to strap onto your drone to do a little bit of rescuing. Now, some tips I would say, if you're going to go ahead and get this set up and you're going to try to rescue some of your mini quads, you're going to want to fly this really slow. You're going to want to make very small input on your stick movements to prevent the claw from swaying as you're carrying it. You're not going to want to have this paracord too short coming down from the drone, because the shorter you get, basically the harder it's going to be able to get the claw into position to rescue the quadcopter, depending on where it's stuck. So you want to have a little bit of extra paracord hanging down from your drone. The claw itself, I have to give it a really solid rating. I mean, this thing is very easy to grab onto things, and once you grab onto it, it's stuck on there. Like, I can shake it, I can move it around, it's not going to fall off. Like, when this claw digs in, it really does, the Mantis claw does grab onto the quadcopters quite easily. Now, the Mavic Air 2, as far as a rescue type drone to rescue different quadcopters, you're not going to want to use this for 5-inch drones unless you're running an extremely lightweight 5-inch quadcopter. That's going to be about the max for this little guy. It's just too much weight. The weight of this 5-inch quadcopter empty is probably just a bit too much for this drone to handle. As you can see, I was getting the warnings on the screen. Now, the 3-inch quadcopter, it picked it up no issues whatsoever. Very easily it picked it up. So if you have a 3-inch, maybe even some lightweight 4-inch quadcopters that you want to retrieve with the Mavic Air 2, this drone will do it for you, no problems, and quite easily actually. So keep that in mind when you want to use a Mavic Air 2 to rescue any kind of quadcopters that you have lost out there. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. There's going to be more FPV and Mavic Air 2 videos to come on the channel, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. eDrone out.